Tony, does that open up the door in terms of the possibility of more than naturalism?
Not really, I think, but this is another subject. It's one of my favorite subjects, actually. I've written a lot of the literature about the impossibility of a future life.
What would you say happened in terms of those cases, then, naturalistically?
Somebody that can report something miles away when they have no heart or brain activity.
I mean, this is the sort of thing that's normally called out-of-the-body experiences, isn't it?
Except in an OBE, the person's not anywhere close to death. In an NDE, they're close to death. And in the case of this lady from Alabama, I think, or Georgia, she's post-death by all accepted standards. You know, 59 degrees blood, no blood in the head, no heart, no brain for hours. She shouldn't be reporting anything, should she?
No, but if she was really dead, she shouldn't be recovering in this way.
This is intriguing evidence for somebody who has no brain activity. She was on a lung machine. Yeah. By the way, her doctor gave her a 10% chance of living and a 1 in 10,000 chance of living with all her faculties. 3 days later, she comes to spontaneously and says, "You're the guy that resuscitated me. Where's the tall guy without the beard?" He said, "I'll get him for you." Now, this guy's an agnostic, and I've talked to the doctor myself. Guess what? He's no longer an agnostic. He's a theist. He's not a Christian, but he's a theist. So it's evidence for something.
Yes, I mean, this is the sort of thing that societies for psychical research, or nowadays it's called parapsychology, investigate. And it seems to me one begins to start talking about, not psychokinesis, extrasensory perception and so on.
But you don't believe in ESP?
No.
Okay, so what does a naturalist do with reports from miles away when there's no brain and heart activity?
I don't know about this one. I know what to do with most ESP reports, because basically people again and again try to establish evidence for this. And the only way that will demonstrate this is a repeatable demonstration.
But of course, all these people have functioning brains and hearts.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And this
so
is
again, a person with no
angle.
brain and heart, this is...
Oh, no.
This is quite extraordinary.
This is a new one to me, yes.
Okay, well...
this is certainly a new one.
All right, we have to wrap this up. Gary, in terms of all that we've been talking about, fit near-death experiences in, where does it fit? What is the evidence showing you so far?
Well, what I'm saying is something we haven't even talked about, but Christians want to talk about a theistic worldview. As Tony said, it's not just God out there, it's the God of the Old Testament. There's a whole tradition here. So if we've got good arguments for God's existence, if we have evidence for God writing Scripture, if we have evidence for Him acting in time, if Jesus does miracles, then He rises from the dead. And if today we see cases of double-blind experiments where we can't answer, a medical journal publishes answers to prayer, where 21 out of 26 categories the person is statistically better. We see some healing examples, which I wish we had time to go into, near-death experiences, and then we talk about the evidence for the resurrection. I think the Christian's point is the resurrection is not isolated. It's part of a big picture, what we would want to call a theistic worldview. It's part of a big picture. And in that picture, the fact that God raised Jesus is extraordinary. It's one of a kind. It shows Jesus is who He said He is, but He's alive. God's working in other ways in the world, too.